He and his wife Terry had sailed out of Fort Lauderdale in August 1972. To this day, no one knows how that voyage ended. During its subsequent search and investigation, the Coast Guard learned that the elderly couple had spent the fall island hopping in the Caribbean en route to their retirement home in Puerto Vallarta. They were seen on the 12th of December off Corinto, Nicaragua. All the Coast Guard ever found of Mr. and Mrs. Fisher and the ship, Como No, was a small plastic lifeboat. It was cases such as these, cases for which the Coast Guard had no ready explanation, that fascinated Carl Hyacin. One could talk of far-out Bermuda Triangle explanations, black holes, electromagnetic earthquakes. But Hyacin was exploring another possibility. The most celebrated disappearance in recent years was the case of the luxury yacht Pirate's Lady, owned by New Orleans millionaire Charles Slater. Slater is convinced his ship is still afloat, and he has put up a $25,000 reward.
It was a burgered yacht. I believe it was 75 feet long, cost over $1 million. It had enough electronic equipment on it to impress even, the most hardened and cynical of sailors. It was a fine, fine ship. And he sent his captain and a 17-year-old boy who he had known as a crewman and had hired on as a crewman on the boat, a trusted family friend, no suspicion of any involvement. And the boat left New Orleans, refueled in Apalachicola. They were having some engine trouble. So they went into Apalachicola. Next morning, the dockmaster heard the boat start up at 6:30 a.m. and leave.
Was there some common factor that would lead to an explanation of these three disappearances and others like them? Investigators think they have an answer that seems wildly out of time in the 20th century. There is one hard fact. Many weekend sailors are known to have vanished in the past 6 years. Carl Hyacin does not pretend to have all the answers, but he has a theory that is cautiously accepted by the Coast Guard.
Since 71 through 77, they had 44 vessels that disappeared and that they regarded as possible or probable, not probable, they use the word very carefully, possible hijackings.
The fear among yachtsmen is reflected by the words of marine insurance broker Ted Hall.
10, 15 years ago, young college students or young folks used to come down here and hang around the docks on Miami and Beach or in the Lauderdale area. And if they wanted to go to the Bahamas, they go ask a yachtsman, and the yachtsman would take them to the Bahamas free of charge. That's all stopped. Most yachtsmen will not take anybody on board.
I've had a friend that said he saw a barometer that he'd given another friend who the family turned up missing, but here this barometer was on an island in the Bahamas for sale in a gift shop.
There is a growing suspicion that a number of seemingly inexplicable disappearances can be laid at the feet of a bizarre anachronism, the plundering buccaneer. The modern pirate does not fly the Jolly Roger or lurk in the remote coves of the Spanish Main. There is reason to believe that the modern pirate strolls the streets of Miami Beach, made undetectable by his commonplace appearance and his belief in the age-old tradition of piracy, that dead men tell no tales. Hyacin has developed a profile of the typical modern buccaneer.
A cold-blooded person, fairly intelligent, and ironically, pretty personable sort of character. And this is the sort of thing that happens. They make friends with them, they let them come on board, and they might mention that the wife has some diamonds with her or something, and then the fellow says, "Oh, really?"
The pirate is looking for a congenial victim, a man proud of his boat, a man who doesn't ask for credentials or identification, the type of person who will sign his own death warrant. As seen in this reenactment, the typical pirate of today must first discover essential facts that make a particular vessel the perfect target. The vessel has no specific float plan, its destination is not defined, its schedule is undetermined. The buccaneer will have the necessary time to complete his deadly deed. He knows that boat owners can be like kids, even to wearing official-looking uniforms.
In these cases, another thing that happens frequently is that the boat leaves, and this, in the case of the Pirate's Lady, it leaves virtually unnoticed. Either late at night, early in the morning, it motors out very quickly. There's no chatting around the dock, no, buying a six-pack and shooting the breeze with the dockmaster. The boat is gone bright and early.
Now it is just a matter of time until the victim takes his would-be killer to a suitable, secluded piece of open sea.
In each of these cases, the boat was outfitted for a long voyage already. That is, there were provisions, there was fuel, there was charts, there was either radar or certainly radio, long-distance communication. There was everything they needed to make a good long trip.
Changing some of the lesser works, topside masts, some parts of the superstructure, or changing just the color combination on those parts, adding canvas parts, taking canvas parts off, you can change the looks of a vessel quite easily and quite quickly.
The Florida coast, with its overgrown bayous, is ideal country for the pirate. Here, he can effect a facelift on the yacht if he wants to use it. But why would a man commit piracy and murder? Why would he take these risks? Does piracy have another motive?